we tabled legislation to ban replacement workers. I've spent a lot of time around the bargaining table over these past 2 years, and it is hard work, and it is tense, and it is messy, and it works.
Labour Minister Seamus O'Regan tabled new labour legislation Thursday proposing new anti-scab provisions, a commitment that he needed to meet by the end of the year under the terms of the Minority Liberals' Confidence and Supply Deal with the NDP. The bill, entitled An Act to Amend the Canada Labour Code and the Canada Industrial Relations Board Regulations 2012, seeks to ban the use of replacement workers or scabs when a union employer in a federally regulated industry has locked out employees or is in the midst of a strike. The changes would also prohibit employers from using new hires, contractors, or employees in the same bargaining unit from doing the work of union members during these work stoppages. The legislation allows for exempt in cases where there are threats to health and safety or serious environmental or property damage that could not be managed by the existing workforce. And should a union believe an employer is using replacement workers in ways that go beyond these special circumstances, they can file a complaint with the Canada Industrial Relations Board (CIRB), which would then investigate. Once law, any contravention from federal employers could be punishable by a fine of up to $100,000 per day. The bill also fulfills a 2021 Liberal election commitment. The last Liberal platform pledged to create a fairer collective bargaining process by introducing legislation to prohibit the use of replacement workers. Officials providing a technical briefing to reporters about the substance of the 12-page bill said the legislation will cover approximately 1 million employees working for approximately 22,350 employers in industries such as air and rail transportation, banking, telecommunications, broadcasting, as well as postal and courier services. It will not apply to the federal public service. Of the employers that fall under this legislation, approximately 34% are unionized or covered by a collective bargaining agreement. Ahead of Bill C-58's tabling, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh held a press conference in the West Block foyer, touting the pressure his party put on the government to advance these historic protections for unionized jobs, which he said should empower workers when demanding better wages and working conditions. Let's listen to what he said.
When we say the best deals are made at the table, we mean it. So today is about keeping parties focused on the table and providing more stability and certainty for the economy. Bill C-58 will ban the use of replacement workers in federally regulated industries during a strike or a lockout. That means no new contractors, no members of the bargaining unit crossing the picket line. The penalty for violating the ban would be $100,000 per day.
Canadian Labour Congress President Bea Brisket told reporters Thursday that the bill will greatly help to bring fairness to workplaces right across Canada by rebalancing the scales during strikes by preventing employers from using scab labour to undermine the collective bargaining process. According to the terms of their two-party agreement, the bill only needed to be tabled in the House of Commons this year and not necessarily passed, which may take some time given what the NDP anticipates will be resistance from the Conservatives.
After decades of fighting, we are finally going to see a government bill that we forced to make happen that's going to ban scab workers in our country. This is about giving power to workers, taking away power from greedy CEOs and making sure workers can fight to get a fair share of the profits that they create with their own labor. So we're really proud of that. This legislation will be tabled today. The next step, though, is getting it passed, because we know that the corporate-controlled Conservatives aren't going to want to see workers have more power, that their corporate masters aren't going to want to see this legislation get passed. So we're going to have to keep on putting the pressure on. But I want to make one thing really clear. The Liberals would never have done this. They would have never tabled this legislation but for the fact that New Democrats and Labour together fought to make this happen.